Delivering the right amount of IV fluids is crucial to a patient's medical treatment, and you, as the health professional, need to know how to accurately calculate IV fluid requirements and tailor them to your patient's needs. So let's break down the two simple formulas needed to do that: the 4-2-1 rule and the 150-20 rule. I hear from so many medical PA and nursing students that they get to their clinical rotations and have absolutely no clue how to calculate how much IV fluid is appropriate for their patients. You're also not really taught what a correct IV order contains. So we're breaking down the two formulas that you'll use to calculate fluid needs and what a complete IV fluid order needs to contain to be correct. So first is the 4-2-1 rule, which is used to calculate daily requirements for both adults and children, and is for the first 10 kilograms of body weight, we're going to give 4 milliliters of fluid per kilogram per hour. For the next 10 milligrams of body weight, we're going to give 2 milliliters of fluid per kilogram per hour. And then for every additional kilogram of body weight beyond 20 kilograms, we're giving 1 milliliter of fluid per kilogram per hour. So let's look at an example with a 70 kilogram patient, which equates to 154 pounds. For the first 10 kilograms, we're giving 4 milliliters per kilogram per hour, which if we multiply this, it gives us 40 milliliters an hour. For the next 10 kilograms, we give 2 milliliters per kilogram per hour, which results in 20 milliliters per hour. So for the final part of the formula, we take the original weight, which was 70 kilograms, and subtract the 20 kilograms we've used so far, which leaves us with 50 kilograms remaining for the rest of the formula. So if we plug this in, we give 1 milliliter per kilogram per hour times 50 kilograms, which equals 50 milliliters an hour. We're going to add the results from steps 1, 2, and 3 to determine the total hourly IV fluid requirement, which equates to 110 milliliters an hour. So let's do another example using an 18 kilogram patient or a 40 pound patient. So first 10 kilograms of body weight, we're getting 4 mLs per kilogram per hour, which if we multiply is 40 an hour. Next, we don't have a full 10 kilograms, we have 8. So this winds up being 16 milliliters an hour after we multiply 2 times 8. Add them together and we wind up with 56 milliliters an hour. Now, there is a shortcut to this calculation for adults only. And here, using our 70 kilogram patient again, we're going to take the 40 mLs we wound up with from the first two steps, because we know this value will remain constant as adults will always weigh more than 20 kilograms. So 40 mLs plus the patient's weight in kilograms, which was 70 kilograms, equals 110 milliliters per kilogram per hour, which is exactly what we wound up with before right here. Now we can take this a step further and convert our hourly rate to a daily fluid requirement, which indicates how much total fluid is required for that patient in a 24-hour period. And we do this by multiplying the hourly requirement, which was 110, by 24 hours, and this gives us our total daily IV fluid requirement of 2,640 milliliters per day. Okay, so that was the 4-2-1 rule, but next we're going to use a different rule that is more appropriate for calculating the daily fluid requirements in adults only. And this is the 150-20 rule. So this formula is often used to provide just a quick estimate of a patient's daily fluid needs, but this formula gets us pretty close to what this will look like. And we'll need to take the number we wind up with and divide it by 24 at the end. So the formula is very straightforward. It's just based on a patient's body weight. And here's how it works. So for the first 0 to 10 kilograms of body weight, we're going to give 100 milliliters per kilogram per day. For the second 10 kilograms, we're going to give 50 milliliters per kilogram per day. And then anything after 20 kilograms, we're giving 20 milliliters per kilogram per day. So for our 70 kilogram patient, it looks like this. 10 kilograms times 100 equals 1,000 milliliters a day. 10 kilograms times 50 milliliters equals 500 milliliters a day. And for the remaining 50 kilograms, we multiply this by 20, which equals 1,000 milliliters a day, for a grand total of 2,500 milliliters in a 24-hour period. Now, if we divide this by 24, we get 104 milliliters an hour, which gets us pretty close to our original calculation of 110 an hour using the 4-2-1 rule. Now, let's look at a comparison. So we know that there are 24 hours in a day, but since this is normally a quick estimation that you can do in your head, it's actually easier to just use 25. It'll still get us very close to what the correct amount will be. So if we take 4 and multiply it by 25, we get 100. Next, we take 2 and multiply that by 25, and we get 50. And then last, we take 1, multiply it by 25, and we get 25. So this is the only part that we maybe wind up a few points higher than the 4-2-1 rule did. So using the 4-2-1 rule, we came up with 110 milliliters per kilogram per hour. And when we multiplied that by 24 hours, we got 2,640 milliliters as a daily requirement versus the 2,500 milliliters we get with the 150-20 rule. So again, this rule is used for a quick estimation of the daily requirements, but the 4-2-1 rule is obviously a bit more concise, which is why we use it for pediatrics. So once you figure out the patient's requirements, the next step is writing the actual order that the pharmacy and nurses will follow. So to write a proper IV fluid order, it has to contain several components, which include the type of solution. So this might be D5W, D5 half normal saline, etc. Total amount of fluid, which is 1,000 milliliters here. So solutions come in various sizes: 1,000 milliliters, 500, 250, 150, etc. So for ongoing hydration, the larger volume bags are used to decrease the amount of bag changes that the nurses and staff must do. Piggyback medications, or one-time med administrations that are diluted in an IV solution, the smaller volumes are used more frequently. And next is the rate of infusion, which was 110 milliliters an hour based on our 4-2-1 calculations earlier. The duration, which is written as maybe over 8 hours or over 4 hours. Now, if this is a continuous infusion, most healthcare providers will order either a rate or a duration, not both. If ordering the duration, it will dictate the infusion rate. So, for example, 1,000 milliliters over 8 hours would indicate a 125 milliliter an hour infusion rate. And then to top off this order, it needs a date and your signature and credentials. So that's going to do it for today. I'm Danielle Minetti, and this has been Lucid Med. If this video helped you to understand IV fluid calculations better, then like, subscribe, share it with a colleague, do all of it. It'll help YouTube understand our audience better, and those who are looking for this information will be better able to find it. If you have a question or topic you'd like me to cover, then drop me a comment or email me at danielle@lucidmed.com. I answer every single message that anyone sends me. Understanding IV fluid choices and the precautions you need to observe when prescribing and infusing them is critical for your patient safety. So click here to watch these next, and stay healthy and lucid.